I'm Sara Harding from TotalRock, and I am thrilled to be joined by Joey Tempest from Europe. How are you doing today?
Good, thanks for having me here.
How's the press run going? You've been at the Beeb, haven't you?
Yeah, I've done a lot of radio, and it's going well. You know, people are interested in us coming back to the UK again so fast. Just a year ago, we were here last time.
I know, I caught up with you and had a brilliant interview with you on the Gibson tour bus at Sonosphere.
Yeah.
What's been going on since then?
A lot of touring. I think we're coming up to 100 shows for the last Look at Eden album. It's just a great sign that an album is working, you know. Get a lot of business from it and touring a lot. Yeah.
And how many tracks from the album are you playing?
Usually 4 or 5 tracks. Last Look at Eden has been a great show opener, and the tracks we like to play is The Beast, No Stone Unturned, New Love in Town sometimes. Yeah, Gonna Get Ready sometimes. Yeah, The Beast. Yeah, that works well.
And what else is on the set list?
Usually some good old big tunes, you know, Rock the Night, Superstitious, Final Countdown, those kind of things. But hopefully this time in the UK, on the Balls and Banners tours, we can add something new, because we've been here so recently. So maybe throw in a cover if we can, a surprise maybe. I'm meeting up with the boys very soon for the rehearsal for the Balls and Banners tour, and see what we can come up with.
Balls and Banners is a great name for the tour. It's the one that's made me laugh the most when I read the press release. Do we need big balls and banners to come along, or is that what you provide?
That would be good, but no. It was me and Ian. We actually on the plane to go to Sonosphere Festival last year, and me and Ian, the drummer, started talking about, let's come up with a new name, because we've been here recently. We need a new name for this tour. And on the CD, you know, on the flip side, there's a design from some ferrofluid sort of symbols, and we always refer to them as the balls in our emails. So what are we going to do with the CD cover design? Yeah, well, what about the balls? So we're going to have them on the front or the back? So that's why the balls stuck. The banners was a little bit... We had an idea to use different flags for every country we went to, but we sort of honed in on the Union Jack because we love it, that flag, so much. So we're going to do that idea for this tour. So that's it, it's balls and banners, and yeah, it sounds great.
Now, we support a lot of new and unsigned bands as well as established bands. What advice would you give to someone that wants to write a classic rock anthem?
Well, that was written for our third album as an opener, Final Countdown that was. Before that, we were just finding our feet, you know, learning to write, you know. Sometimes you write crap, and sometimes you have to write the bad tunes to get to the good tunes, and that's what people don't understand. Sometimes you write something and your friends won't like it, or you won't like it, it's like, and then you give up. It's not about that. You have to write... The greatest artists write the crap stuff to get to the good stuff. So you keep going and you keep going, and that's what I did. I remember redoing demos, redoing it. But these days are different. You have to be able to play your instrument. You have to be able to play live. There's so many festivals and opportunities to play, but you have to be a good band, and then you can make a living these days. You know, the record business is difficult. To go that route, finding a label, it's a bit tricky. But if you practice and practice, like I remember Yngwie Malmsteen, it was only Yngwie and John Norum around, great guitar players when I grew up in Stockholm, and Yngwie used to sit 12 hours a day in the basement in Zinkensdamm in Stockholm. I went there a couple of times, and that was before, he was not drinking, he was not doing any drugs, he was not doing anything but playing guitar. And as everyone knows, when his first albums came out, it was amazing. There was some demos circulating of his stuff as well that we heard early on. But obviously, I had John Norum, who was more blues influenced, my favorite guitar player. But what I'm trying to say is that you have to put in the hours. You have to. There's no shortcuts these days. Now
this year has been hailed as the ultimate year for classic rock. Would you agree with that? And do you think rock is just... I mean, bands like yourselves are just taking over the planet, aren't they?
Yeah, it's been going on for a while. I think this year's trend will also be a little bit AOR, because you have a big tour coming up with Journey, of course. And we used to listen to Neil Sean and Steve Perry, me and John as well in the beginning. But classic rock, I mean... In the future, I think, a long time in the future, people will look back and there will be a term called classic rock, and that will incorporate all bands from this era. And it's fantastic. It's so powerful, though. It's the foundation of all the trends. You have all the trends going on in the world, but you have Iron Maiden, AC/DC, you have Deep Purple, you have Led Zeppelin, you have all the foundation of hard rock lying there, so cemented. And we all can tap into that, you know. It's amazing, and it's the strongest music form there is. The rest is just trends.
Absolutely, and you're in trend right now. And I was going to talk to you about, once you've done the Balls and Banners tour, what's next for Europe? Can we see you at a few summer festivals, or what are you going to move on to do next?
Yeah, Last Good Evening has been so well received that the gigs are coming in all the time, but we have said stop now. We're going to go into the studio in October to record our next album, and that's going to be very interesting. But we're doing Balls and Banners tours, and we're doing a few festivals. We're doing 5 to 10 festivals out in Europe this year, but we're going to be writing and recording. We've also taken a lot of pictures, so we're looking at releasing a picture book with some live material on it. We've recorded a lot live, and we are planning, not many people know this yet, but we are doing Shepherd's Bush will be a DVD recording. It's going to be loads of cameras. Big party, big show at Shepherd's Bush this year.
Oh, I'm going to make sure I'm in the front of that mosh pit for that. Good of you. It must be just brilliant being in Europe right now.
It's a good time. Who would have guessed? Our 8th album, 3rd album, Last Good Evening, is shortlisted in Classic Rock magazine for Album of the Year. Only Slash beat us to it. I mean, we could never have dreamt of anything better because we built it up slowly again. We start from the Dark, Secret Society, and then Last Good Evening, and it's going slowly in the right direction instead of having, you know, a peak early, or it's just a really good time.
And what's it like, just back to the final countdown, just one more time, just looking down and seeing every single person singing along to a song you've written? It must feel incredible. It's
incredible. I mean, Sonisphere last year, we walk out, it was a shorter set, but the last song was Final Countdown, and walking out and everybody joins in. It's just amazing, you know. It's a communication with the audience that works, and people sort of get uplifted. Who would have guessed? Who would have known? Guys from outside Stockholm would be there at Sonisphere playing that song, and everybody's coming together. It's amazing, you know.
Joey Tempest, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks. TotalRock, the true voice of rock and metal. This is Joey Tempest from the band Europe.